Hey guys, welcome back to the General's Workshop. Today I'm going to actually be showing you a quick and an easy way of building this DIY kind of rustic awning that I have in my shop. And it's perfect for adding a little bit of nostalgia for those of you who grew up playing cowboys and outlaws while bringing some unique style to your space. Plus, for those following my indoor treehouse loft build/bed series, stick around because I'm going to give you some updates on the progress that we've made since our last video. Now guys, before we get on with the awning, if you watched my last video, we left off with quite a few things needing to be done. So today I want to actually go through and show you a couple of those in a real quick fashion. One, you'll notice that I've got a stain on the post and the beams, the support beams, if you will, as well as the vertical stripping here. And so from that perspective, I want to share just a little secret that really seemed to help me out. So follow me on over. This is just a quick tip that I've learned, and honestly, it's helped me out a ton as I try to visualize my space. And for those of you that are building and struggle with knowing colors, one of the things that I've done is you notice that I have this 2x4 trim board. It's not actually even attached, it's there just to create a little bit of a contrast, right? To counterbalance this top ledge. However, what I've done, and this is something that served me well, is I've actually taken that board and you can see that it's that charcoal gray on the one side. But if you notice, the opposite side is going to be my stained color, the mahogany that you see throughout kind of the theme of this build. And then I use, honestly, for almost everything, my black walnut, my edge banding, if you will. But again, that just allows you to throw it up onto the beam when you're trying to figure out, do I want it gray or do I want it mahogany? And then you can put it back at the end of the day, but you then have it for future reference. And I cannot tell you how many times I've done this. I've also done that with the color which you're going to see up inside the treehouse. This is what I did the floor on. And again, all of my color swats that I'll use throughout the theme of my shop, I have a variety of different samples as well as on a variety of different mediums, right? You can see what I showed you here before. I also have on these cedar plank boards that I've done as well. And it always makes sense to do it when you're working on that particular project because you're already set up, you're already doing it. It honestly takes moments to do this. So consider doing that on your next time so that you have it for future reference. In addition to that, we also ended up getting all of this board trim up here. If you recall from the last video, that was down, so we got that up. But I had to get that up before we did the underbelly. You'll also notice that the whole underbelly has been done. And those little kind of cedar slats, that's what I ended up doing. I actually used my thickness planer to take down one side of it, just kind of give it that flushedness. And the other nice thing about the thickness planer is it allowed me to take more thickness off certain boards, i.e. my secret trapdoor, which I could show you. You know what, let's do that later. Oh, sure. But I got all these done, and then I stained them with that mahogany, allowing it to go up, really to consolidate and to conceal, if you will, this space that goes up to the tree floor. So for the average person, with the exception of recognizing this hinge or this latch mechanism, you wouldn't know that there's anything up top as well. Now, some of you might be noticing right up here where this little white piece is, that's going to be for a custom beam fixture that I'm going to be doing in the near future. That'll go right above that kind of that bar spot. All right. So with that being said, now we're at a perfect place in order for us to start with the awning. It's all set. So let me go ahead and get you guys started. So when we're considering this awning, let me do this. If you are at all nervous or apprehensive to do something like this, please let me sway you in the opposite direction. This is such an incredibly simple task to do. There's really only about 4 pieces that you need to be able to cut. That's in addition to the metal. And in fact, I'll be going over that as well. But when you look at, there's a couple considerations. One, you're going to have to decide if you're doing it for more like a window. And what I mean by that is like the window, you have to run your ledger board beyond the edges of your border, right? So that you can have that downward piece that goes on the outermost side, right? Going down out here as opposed to building it right here. As you can see with mine is kind of a zero clearance, if you will, meaning it is going exactly to the edge of my structure. So you just have to decide on which one that's going to be. The only difference is really going to be this. When you're doing your ledger board with something like a window, you're going to want to go beyond your outermost part, right? That's going to allow you, and it's going to need to be an average 2x4 is milled down to 3.5. So you're going to want to go at least, if I were you, I would go an additional 4 to 5 inches beyond to allow for that, right? This piece right here, that downward piece that you're going to actually have coming down. The other consideration to really think about is how high or low do you want your awning? You can see with mine, I have it so that when I walk in the door, you could still see some of this gray tones underneath it. Now, I could have brought the entire structure down so that the awning, when you first walk in, the awning, you're only going to see the awning edge, but you won't see into any of what I'm calling the underbelly, if you will, of the actual structure itself. So these are just some things you're going to have to ponder as far as looks. Now, for me, I'll show you, what you'll be able to see here is that I like having the uniformity of having a little bit of the underbelly showing. So with that being said, guys, here are some of the cuts that you're going to want to do. Now, keep in mind, this goes down to the idea of you're making it simple. Keep in mind, this is a non-functioning, meaning it's not going to be having a snow load. It's not going to be withstanding the wind. It's all indoor. So for me, this is purely aesthetic. There's no real great function other than the primary task of supporting the sign that my daughter got me, Jenna's Workshop, established 2023. That was pretty special, and it actually worked out pretty perfect as far as putting it up. So from that perspective, let me show you the 4 measurements here. I wanted to go over just some of the basic components because honestly, this is so easy to do. However, when I was putting it together, I didn't find it so easy, right? I had to come up with all these angles, and I'm hoping that that'll save you a lot of time. First and foremost, let's look at this piece right here. So this is going to be that ledger board. That will span the total distance. You know, I could give you my distance, but it's not going to help you because you guys will have individually. So take whatever that distance is from your window edges to your door, and just, again, if it's a window or a door slash add on an additional probably 6 to 8 inches so that you can actually go beyond it versus mine, 0 edge. I want it to be flush with the end here, and then I had to bring it in a little bit on that inside because of the garage door track. So that takes this piece, right? That will get screwed right into the actual wall. Then let's look at, this is going to be the next component. So when I look at this, this is 18 inches. When you look at the distance from this space right here, going all the way down to this peak. All right, that is a 45-degree angle. I did that just to spruce it up. Could I have left it at a blunt 90? Of course I could have. I just think this gives it a little bit of a finished detail look to that. Now, this is has pocket holes on the backside that screw up into it, into this one at about an angle that's similar to that, right? So these are pocket hole screws with 2.5-inch screws going into that. So those are fastened together. This is attached to the wall. This then goes up in. The next piece that I would do is going to be this one here. Now, this is 21 inches from peak to peak. These are two 45-degree angles with 21 inches measuring from here to here. And then you put it up there, and the angle of the screw going into this is going to be just like this. 2 of them going directly into this piece, so to be just like that, okay? Now, when that's all said and done, then we look at this piece, which is a 12-inch piece from this butt joint, if you will, goes all the way over to this peak. That is, again, another 45-degree angle here. Now, excuse me, if you have where you're going to be bearing a load, whereas mine obviously is for pure aesthetics. There's going to be 0 snow load or rain load or wind resistance necessary for this. I would actually switch this around. I would do the 90-degree here, so then the board would actually be more of like this right here. So you'd have that. That's going to give you a stronger support, if you will, okay? So let's actually come on over to this side and take a look at the corrugated tin. You can see that I've got them in a very strategic. Obviously, all you're going to want to do here is get your spacing so the eye isn't drawn to a mismatch, if you will, or unequal lines, which the eye almost always is. So I've got it up, and then of course I ended with adding this sign that my daughter got me for Christmas, which I love it, and I did nothing more than bend some metal at it was actually roughly a little off from 45 as far as that to make it kind of look right, but I think it worked well. I originally had wanted to do a sign up here that was like a general store. Remember the old Western towns where they always have the old general store? But I could not come up with a way to do it that would allow myself to feel good about having this track in the way. So from that perspective, I knew I needed to do something different. And then I remember seeing one sign where they actually mounted the sign on the tin. And I thought to myself, that's a great idea. I should do that. And then I remembered that my daughter had gotten me that because I have it up on my shelf, not knowing what to do with it. So then I thought, wow, it's a great sign. And then, of course, the hardest part is having it held in position so that you can see what it looks like when you first walk in the room. Because when you first walk in the room, your eye just goes right to this spot right here. And so the thing that I was trying to decide is when you first walk in, I wanted there to be corrugated tin on the bottom as well as the top. If I would have went this all the way up, put it in the middle, then this top part would be covered by wood and this part would be by tin. And I didn't want that. So from that perspective, I think this looks great. Let's go ahead and I'm going to show you a little bit of the treehouse, how it's looking inside. I've only done a couple of things, but let's get going. So I wanted to take an opportunity to show you guys the, good lobby, that's hot. Whew. Sorry guys, I had to turn the temp down there. I wanted to show you this part because this is actually super cool. So this to me is my hidden, if you will, that just swings down. I'm still not sure what I'm gonna do with this. I'm still trying to wrap my head around some opportunities of utilizing this. There will eventually be a ladder coming, a ship ladder that will actually retract up and set into it, so then that swings back up and it's totally hidden. I love that part. So let's do this. Let me go ahead and let me show you what's up inside here. Yes, we don't have a ladder, so we're gonna see how good my vertical is. All right, well, you can see that I got the floor painted. I actually did a base coat, if you will, or a primer into the OSB, and then I did a finishing coat, if you will, of almost like a taupey tan. I still don't know honestly what I'm going to do completely up here. This light's not going to stay. This is all going to change up here, and I don't know what. I'll end up doing a trim around here. I'll probably end up doing one more coat. I could see a variety of spots where I've missed. You can still see the white through it, and it's going to be fine for a loft, if you will. But I'm also trying to figure out how to do the walls, how to kind of do it so this actually is kind of that fun flavor. I will say this, that this already has this flavor, if you will, this flavor of like a tree house. And so for me, that's why I'm calling it an indoor tree house loft bed build. This space is going to be awesome. And I've done a lot of work out here, and there's not an ounce of sawdust up here. So I think that the tarp idea proved itself to be awesome, lightweight, and it did the job that it's supposed to do. So super excited about that. So now for those of you that may have found this and you love the awning, you're like, man, I like that idea of the treehouse, go ahead and check out this video link that I'm going to have up here. This is actually a series, if you will, where we talk about the framing followed by the finishing, and this is going to be a complete series. So rather than living dangerously, go back, check out that first one and watch the two leading up to this. And in fact, please consider liking and or subscribing so you can continue to see the build as we do it. So with that being said, guys, shoot. Have a good day.